What's up, guys? This is David Pollock, and today's Know Your Stuff presented by Home Depot is about Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish. They've kind of been forgotten about a little bit. The 1-point loss to Georgia, and everybody's pointing to them going, well, they're not that good. That's two teams that aren't that good. They got 5 out of their next 6 ranked games or opponents are against ranked opponents. So they can absolutely 100%, starting this weekend, if they beat USC and they get hot and they beat Stanford and they beat Navy, they beat all these teams down the stretch in their schedule, Notre Dame will be in the playoffs. It's a tall task, but I wouldn't kick Notre Dame to the curb yet.
Marshawn Lynch rushed for just 63 yards, and Derek Carr threw 2 picks against the Chargers. What the 2 and 4 just happened?
Yeah, Derek Carr, I mean, look, he was coming back from the injury, so maybe he was a little bit off. The problem with Lynch, though, is honestly that offensive line, the blocking, last 5 weeks, since week 2, he is 44th out of 47 qualified runners, averaging just 1.17 yards per rush before first contact. And he's just not getting the carries. After getting all that work in week 1, he's slowly starting to get his carries back up. But right now, he's merely a flex play. A Thursday night game against the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know. It depends on what other options you have besides Lynch and Carr. But I don't think either are must-starts anymore.
Despite having the Dolphins at home off of bye, Matt Ryan is quarterback 22, and Julio Jones is wide receiver 29. What the just happened?
Yeah, this one was crazy. Coming off of a bye at home against the Dolphins, he should have been a lot better. And normally I would say, like, you know what, time to look elsewhere. But the thing about Matt Ryan is, with Rodgers going down, maybe Winston, like, quarterbacks are scarce, especially with teams on a bye in week number 7. So, honestly, I think you got to stick with him, especially when you think about his next 2 at New England and at the Jets. Hopefully things get better for Matty Ice. One of the problems with Julio Jones, 1 red zone target on this year. 160 different players this season have receiving touchdowns. Jones not one of them. Obviously, that's going to correct the mean. I'm nervous about him long term, but ultimately, you got to still keep rolling him out there. Disappointing.
We felt like we did some pretty good things last year.
A magnificent season ends in a rough way.
But we needed another vet leader, obviously, Hall of Famer.
Big news, Chris Paul agreeing to a sign-in trade to the Rockets.
That can help us and put us over the top.
He's a wizard. He's a warlock. He is a point guard.
Obviously, we haven't played a game yet, but the process has already been fun.
He has a lot more freedom now. He can come up and shoot the ball and be aggressive, scoring more than he's ever probably had.
I think the craziest thing for me has been being on that wing sometimes, getting that rocket pass.
Be able to play off the ball a little bit more and have trust in somebody that they're going to make a really good play, not only for themselves, but for the rest of our team. Feels good.
But we definitely had a conversation about the ultimate goal, and that's winning. And ultimately competing at a high level and having fun at the same time.
With Kyrie coming back, the Cavs plan to honor him with an in-game video tribute. This is after, of course, Kyrie asked for and received a trade in the offseason. He's coming back as a member of the visiting and challenging Celtics, and he recently said that Boston is a real live sports city, whatever that means. All right, and I'm honored to have the Jump's Rachel Nichols jump in on the 6 with me. Rachel, does it feel a little too soon for the Cavaliers to be honoring Kyrie Irving?
It's too soon to be too soon, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
I mean, look, if you're the Cavs, don't you just kind of want this storyline over with as quick as possible? If you don't do the video tribute now, then all that lingers on opening night is Kyrie said this about the city of Cleveland. He said that about the city of Cleveland. They didn't give him a video tribute. What happens the next time he comes in there? If they give him the video tribute tonight, then they just sort of, have sort of washed their hands of this for a while. Oklahoma City, it's interesting to remember, Michael, they don't do these. They say it's their team policy. They do not do this when a player comes back, which is why we didn't see one for Kevin Durant last season. Maybe we'll start seeing more teams adopt that philosophy so they don't deal with what the Cavaliers are dealing with tonight.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with it because they can never take away 2016 from the Cavaliers and that fan base. And without Kyrie, we all know they don't have a championship banner hanging at the queue. So maybe this is an organizational decision and let the fans get the booing out of the way later. But let's honor Kyrie, thank him, and frankly, he left us in a pretty good position, got Jay Crowder, Isaiah Thomas, and the Nets pick. So it's not the same as LeBron, homegrown guy, leaving you high and dry. So I could see why the organization would say, let's do the classic thing, and then let the fans then boo him to the high heavens.
Yeah, I mean, the team has said they're not quite sure when in the game they're going to run the video
You got to do it at the
to
beginning,
Kyrie.
right? You got to do it right off the top.
I mean, well, let me ask you a question, though. If you were a fan, right, and you cheer for that team all through, they're winning the championship, and Kyrie hits the shot in Game 7, it's amazing, and then he does what he does this summer by asking for a trade, and then the comments you've heard over the last week, what would you do? Would you root for him or would you boo him?
I would cheer for the video presentation at the beginning of the game, and then the rest of the game, I would lose my voice booing for him. That's how I would play it. I would thank him because I got a championship thanks to Kyrie, but you're not with the enemy.